It is time to leave your worries outside and laugh with us inside the treehouse. I'm Dan O'Malley, and he is Trey Trenholm.
Hello, Daniel.
Hello, Treefus.
How was your Thanksgiving?
Tasty. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We only suffered a minor cut, a minor explosion, the gas cooktop. I think that's it. I think all the rest of it, there was no major hazards. We got to eat well and be happy. The Cowboys won. It's a good day overall. I'll take it.
Excellent.
Yeah. How about you?
It was pleasant, which is an unusual thing to say.
If it was pleasant, that means you didn't have to see your mom. So
no, I did. That was, yeah. But I did something that I don't know why I haven't done this before, but I usually go over to her place and cook there, which leads to a lot of tension. A lot of times because I am claustrophobic, and in her kitchen, and she's in a wheelchair, so she would just block the entrance of the kitchen and get me quite irritated. So this year I cooked everything at my place and just took it over there. And lo and behold, it was as pleasant as things can be. So no drama, no nothing. It was very nice.
I'm glad to hear it. And I'm also glad that you've realized that disabled people get into able-bodied people's ways more often than we'd like.
Well, after I don't know 5 years of me politely, well, I wouldn't even say, after a couple years of me politely asking her not to do it, and then after that point realizing she's doing it on purpose, and literally I'll like, just don't make me feel like I'm blocked in, and if something caught on fire, I have to hurdle you in the wheelchair to get out of here.
I have to throw you down and jump over you.
Yeah.
So what do we have on tap today?
Well, we have another edition of Dear Treehouse, and this is kind of a Dr. Ruth edition.
Okay. I never thought Dr. Ruth as a tease would frighten me, but here we are.
Well, for those of us old enough to remember Dr. Ruth Westheimer, she was the sex doctor, and she would answer people's questions. So yeah, that's kind of where we're going to go today.
Yeah, so, sex doctors of today do not look like she did.
No. Tiny German grandmother is how I would describe Dr. Ruth.
Yep. Absolutely 100% accurate.
So, but, looking back, she was ahead of her time.
How so?
I mean, she was saying things that otherwise were just didn't talk about. To think how the social norms have changed over the last 30 years is actually, it's kind of fascinating. For instance, the last show we were talking about, there's Dr. Ruth.
For those that don't know who Dr. Ruth Westheimer was, this is her. For the bulk of the 20th century, this is where the 20th century citizenry got its sex and relationship advice from. And I'm just now realizing how much she looks like one of the dwarves from Lord of the Rings. I feel like she needs to be carrying around an axe. She looks like Gimli. But she was right, wasn't she? I mean, she always spit out very sage advice.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
No, that's Gimli's Nana. But no, it's fast. It's total sidebar, but you were talking about the Birdcage, which was one of my all-time favorite movies, and that was made, I think, in 90. I want to say 96, 92 or 96.
Yeah.
Um, but if you pitch that same story today, movie studios will be like, yeah, what's the big deal? It's you know, two guys living together with a male servant. Yeah, no, okay, that happens all the time. Oh, a congressman in drag. Yeah, sure, it happens. Whatever. It wouldn't be the story. It's fascinating. It's like, uh, I don't know if you remember this, but remember the Prodigy? They had a song called "Smack My Bitch Up."
Yes, of course they do. I grew up in the I lived
Well,
the 90s, so yeah, I know that song very
you
well.
remember when that music video came out? It was quite scandalous. Like MTV would only play it at night, basically during Safe Harbor,
Mhm.
because basically the whole thing about it is it's a POV of someone on a drunken rampage and getting in fights, making out with a girl and everything else. And then at the end of the video, it turns out, oh, it's not a guy, it's a girl. And that was a big deal. Now, now that it wouldn't even raise an eyebrow.
No.
So,
And just FYI, The Birdcage was released in 96 and Smack My Bitch Up was the following year, 1997.
yeah.
So for those that don't know, the 90s were pretty lit.
Hmm. Oh, and then 98, the president got a blowjob in the Oval Office, which again, wouldn't we love to go back, that was the biggest problem in our country.
Simpler times.
Yeah.
I always said during that whole thing, I always said during the Lewinsky scandal and Clinton getting the BJs, like, at least he's in the office.
Yeah.
I mean, he's on the phone. Forgive the pun, but he's on the phone with heads of state while getting head. He was working.
Hmm.
There was no golf. There was no ice cream, midday ice cream treat, you know, things. There wasn't any sort of, I mean, the man was working all the time. So much
Multitasking.
so, even his adultering, not even a word, but even his adulterying happened while at work.
Efficient.
Very. And the economy was good.
Yeah.
America was strong.
So
Still wrong.
anyways,
Still wrong.
yeah.
Yeah.
So on the Dr. Ruth edition of the Treehouse or Dear Treehouse, we'll start with this one, titled "Men Who Intentionally Ignore You After Sex." This has happened to me. I'm reading from this girl's point of view, what she's
I
wrote.
wish you hadn't said that because
I
was gonna
know.
make it so much better. You saw it. You saw it as you, yeah.
Oh,
You,
yeah.
as you're reading it, you're like, oh, I need to disclaimer this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After 25 years, I finally figured that one out.
But it's those moments in between that we forget.
Uh-huh.
That's where the gold lies. All right, go ahead.
So this has happened to me a few times with the same person, and I no longer speak to him, nor do I want anything to do with him. So long story short, he pretended to like me just to get in my pants a few times. Also,
What?
the lines were a bit blurred because we did drink when we were together, and he had a high tolerance compared to me. This is something else I have come to terms with eventually. I think this kind of behavior is predatory because they can find someone who wants casual NSA sex, but they go out of their way to find someone who wants something serious only to use them for sex. And these men know they don't like you and they know you're not the one, yet they still pursue you. It makes me feel completely used because he had just been honest with me and rejected me. I could have dated someone else instead of thinking that he liked me.
Well, but then you wouldn't have been at his disposal.
Then you wouldn't have learned this life lesson.
Yeah.
Again, if it happened one time, okay. Sorry, life lesson. He just wanted to get in your pants. And or maybe he at one point liked you, and then the more he got to know you, didn't like you, but the sex was good, and so he just, you became a booty call.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't think that was. I don't know if I'd classify that as predatory, other than again, fool me once, shame on you. Twice, shame on me. And but it's just another Gen Z deal of they don't understand just the way things happen and and sometimes again, it's not on purpose. He may have really liked her at first, but
Yeah.
then found her annoying as hell, but, you know, the sex
I
was
would
good.
say, yeah. So this is not necessarily, it could be predatory behavior, but it's not necessarily predatory behavior. This is one of those things where you don't really know. And she will probably never completely know because this situation had consent. Did he, cut some corners? Did he take advantage a little bit here and there? Yes. But he may not have intended for that to be the case. Because sometimes guys don't have it in their mind, like this strategy, this plan, like, okay, she's this. She's into me, but I'm not really into her, but I can use that to my advantage and blah, 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 blah. Guys aren't usually that cerebral about it. It's more along the lines of, there's an opportunity here and I'm only thinking with my one thing, therefore that's what's leading me and my motivations and my thinking or lack thereof. So it's sort of a, like I said, it's like it's not necessarily predatory, but there are little clues in there where the guy is seeing an opportunity for sex.
Well, hang on though, because in nowhere in this does she say she expressed her feelings to him. So he may have thought they were just F buddies.
Also very possible.
And, I believe the modern term is she caught feelings.
Oh yeah, that's rough. It's hard when you catch feelings.
It is. So,
And the thing is that this is one of those things. I'm going to share a story with you, Trey, about one of my earliest relationships, uh, and I feel like it kind of lends itself to this situation just a little bit. All right, there was a girl I was dating when I was 15. Okay, she was also 15. Just so we're all above board here, that we were both underage, and so there we go. I was 15. She was 15. We started dating. I liked her. I didn't love her. I wasn't crazy about her. I was 15. I was just starting to get into my own. I had only I'm still like a year removed from being a fat kid. So I'm still kind of enjoying myself a little bit, right? And I started dating this girl. I liked her, was physically attracted to her. She seemed to feel the same. And then one day, after a particularly amorous makeout session, as she's leaving, I got to tell her, you got to leave, my mom's going to be home soon. She turns to me at the front door and says, I love you. And I said, no you don't, and then closed the door.
oh,
Yeah. um Apparently I was pretty good at 15. uh but my point is this: I didn't do anything predatory, she didn't do anything predatory. It was just two teenagers doing some stuff, and she caught some feelings, as you said the kids say today. I didn't have those same feelings. And for whatever reason, in that moment, that's one of the few times in my life where I was able to actually clearly and concisely state my feelings in return by saying, no, you don't, go away.
now
Um,
was it at this point where you realized Dr. Sung didn't give you the chip for the emotion love chip?
I am capable of feelings, Trey. I do have love in my heart. I just did not have it for her.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for all those who, yeah, that's a Star Trek Next Generation reference. Sorry if you don't get it.
I actually appreciate that. Thank you.
I know you do. I knew you'd get it. Like,
But it is a difficult thing, and I think this is something that every generation learns. It's just packaged slightly differently with the times, and that is, sometimes you're going to hook up with someone that you shouldn't have because you had more feelings for them than they showed to you, and that's just an unfortunate rite of passage.
well,
Almost, I mean, everyone I know has a story like that, and that story goes both ways. Trey, I know that you've had a situation where I'm sure similar to the one I just shared, that there was a girl who was way more into you and you guys probably hooked up. And then there's probably a situation that you are more into a girl than she was into you. So you've lived both sides. And I think that's just part of
it's
being a person and being out there and
it's part
trying
of growing
things.
up.
Yeah.
But also again, because again, it talks about we did drink when we were together. This very well could have been a thing where he thought they were just F buddies, and she got caught feelings, and she may never have told the guy, or when she did, it was too late, and he was interested in something else. But sometimes you gotta tell people how you feel because
And you
they may
need to
not.
do it before
Uh
it
huh.
gets too physical.
Yeah.
Don't assume that because he got physical that he understands how you feel. That is not the case.
So, all right. Next up on Dear Treehouse, I had intercourse and didn't feel anything.
I'm sorry, Trey.
Yeah. So this young man is a 20-year-old male.
Okay.
I thought it was supposed to be warm, wet, and soft, but I barely felt anything. Is it me? My penis is quite rough because I don't use anything to masturbate.
Oh, this is a lot of information. I wish you had eased into this, Jesus. because when you said the intercourse thing, I was too busy making a dumb joke at your expense,
Uh-huh.
and then you said as 20-year-old male, first time intercourse, didn't feel anything. Then this is how evolved my Gen X brain is. I thought he was on the receiving end of like a gay encounter, and I was like, okay, well, that kind of sucks for him. But then I realized he got turned around. He was the penetrator. See, there's a lot I had to go through in my own brain, a lot of layers to get through before I could figure out what exactly is going on. And then what was the last part?
He says, my penis is quite rough because I don't use any lubrication to masturbate.
Well, so he knows that he should have some type of barrier, or at the very least, be a little more gentle, bud.
I edited some of this part out because he details the fact that he strenuously masturbates with no lubrication. Which why?
Oh my
What
God.
you know?
Why do you hate yourself?
Yeah. And
If you rub it raw, you can't do it again later.
so then one of the responders on Reddit said this is what's called the death grip syndrome. I
DGS.
which I didn't know there was such a thing, but it's basically something for guys who masturbate too much and I guess squeeze too hard that they can do damage to their penis. Which
Okay, look, I didn't realize that this needed to be something that needed to be shared among the male community. Okay. The older you get, the more you realize self care is important. And I don't mean pleasuring yourself, I mean self care in general, mentally, physically, emotionally, all of it, right? And masturbation is something that needs to be included in there about self-care. You need to be gentle with yourself. You need to respect yourself. Unless you're just like rage baiting. um be kind to yourself. Similarly, when you reach a certain age, you realize it's worth it to pay more for softer toilet paper because you and your backside are going to be together for the entirety of your life. Be kind to your butthole. If you're going to be kind to your butthole, you need to be kind to the other side. Okay. If you're going to get, the good soft Charmin or quilted Northern on the backside, you need to also be gentle on the front side. There's a lesson I didn't think we were going to have to share today inside the treehouse.
yeah, I mean, one of the things that we were not taught when we were kids that I is an advantage that the younger generations have. Moisturize.
Yeah. I'm also glad you brought that up, Trey, because I don't really think you're supposed to be taught these types of things. If you are taught, then then the person that taught you usually ends up in jail. Uh,
What?
but you have to kind of pick it up through context clues or visual, like just
I mean,
conversations with friends, movie. Like you pick stuff up that you realized, oh, there's other options out there other than than you just getting really rough with yourself with
I
porn.
admittedly I do not watch as many new movies as I did when I was younger, but there were all sorts of masturbation jokes in movies and TV's shows growing up that you kind of I don't know. I guess you just learned that, you know,
No, no,
oh.
no, Trey. You cling on to them.
Ah, nice.
Thank you. But it's true. That's how we learned those things. It was in dumb conversations with our friends, or an offhanded remark by your dad or your mom or something, and in film and television references. And you pick up on lotion. Tell me what lotion. I never thought about lotion. Oh.
Just lubrication. It makes a lot of things much better.
Yes, it does.
So, all right.
I feel like we've accomplished a lot just now.
Yeah, we have. So,
Legally.
you know, if you're younger, always have a good thing of lotion for everywhere. All right.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. Try to have your own, because if you're using mamas or something like that, they'll notice that it's noticeably lower in the quantity.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. Next on the up. Guy put same finger from butt to vagina, and I'm super pissed.
I don't know if I have the energy for this one. I feel spent already.
Guys, I'm stressed. I was having sexy time the other night, and the guy used fingers of one hand to finger me and the other to put in my butt. Anyways, later on, I see he used the finger that was in the butt in my vagina, and I immediately told him to stop when I realized.
Yeah, the old cross-contamination.
Why would he think that was a good idea? Anyway, now I'm extremely worried of infection like aerobic vaginitis. How soon would I be able to test? Has anyone had this happen to them before? And what was the outcome?
I
Update.
haven't.
I didn't get any infections. Thank God.
Okay. All right. Well, I have a number of thoughts on this. For our purposes, Trey, inside the treehouse, especially on these Dear Treehouse episodes on YouTube, do me a solid. When you read the headline, can you please tell me as much information about the original poster as possible before you read the headline? Because read the headline, just the headline again.
Guy put same finger from butt to vagina. Super pissed.
Oh, okay. So you did say vagina. My bad. A lot was happening in just the opening salvo there that I didn't know necessarily. Are we talking about male, female, male, male? So that helps to kind of set the stage for my brain, because I don't know which way to go. I don't know why. Maybe it's the older school thinking about how shocked I need to be at, and what type of approach, if I have any relatability to it whatsoever. Now I just feel like I'm rambling on this a little bit. So,
Well, I
what
think
do you
maybe we
think?
need to discuss why you immediately think it's possibly gay.
Because you're reading it. It's already, forgive the pun, but it's tainted. There's a little bit of messenger derangement syndrome here. It's also the 21st century, Trey. So when you read the opening statement, as you did, read it again.
Guy put same finger from butt to vagina. Super pissed.
Right. It's 21st century. You're reading it, and you're a guy. But at the same time, if I didn't know you, then that could mean, well, maybe you're trans. So maybe you look like a dude, but then you have a vag. See, there's just so many things that we need to know about.
Or I went from one to the other and then caused the sprinkler to go off.
Look, it's not sexy to keep a bowl of disinfectant next to the bed. Although it sounds like it might be necessary. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I've never really thought about the cross-contamination thing a whole lot while in the bedroom. I think you're just so excited to be there. You don't think about the fact that you need to use a different finger in one hole than you did in the other. I mean, I try to keep that in mind when in the kitchen. I'm using tongs for raw chicken versus cooked chicken, but my head is just in a completely different place, kitchen versus bedroom.
Well, I think I'm sure watching porn has made people think it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And just as a general rule, if something's been in the butt, you probably need to wash it off first before it's used again.
Like actually wash it off, not porn wash with spit. That's not a disinfectant.
Right.
In fact, it makes it worse.
They even make some stuff that lubricates and disinfects. So give it a try.
That is helpful information right there.
Yeah. If
yes, spit it out.
Just remember, when if you wouldn't put that finger like in your own mouth, you probably shouldn't put it other places.
The more you know.
Yeah.
It's either the more you know star and rainbow over our heads, or it's Skeletor running away. Remember,
it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your kids are? They're two in the pink, one in the stink.
Please don't title this episode that. For all things Treehouse, go to treehouseonair.com. You can also listen to the Treehouse Show podcast everywhere podcasts are available. Our favorites, the iHeartRadio app, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, Overcast as well. Hit all the options at treehouseonair.com. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We'll see you next time right here inside the Treehouse.